Hi guys, welcome to Lynette Looks. Today I'm super excited, as always. I'm super excited to be filming another episode, but I'm so overjoyed about this one, The Little Mermaid. It is one of my all-time favorites, along with other Disney classics, and I was so even nervous because I wanted it to do so well. I wanted to love it before even seeing it because I love the animated version so much. If you don't know the synopsis of The Little Mermaid, it's about a 16-year-old mermaid named Ariel, and she is always dreaming about life on land. She is enamored by it. She is in awe of the human life on land, and she so much wants to be a part of that land life, of that world. So you see her having different things from the human world that fall into the ocean, different treasures. She just loves them so much. She has a cave underwater just dedicated to all the treasures she has found that has dropped into the ocean. And what a beautiful song that that comes with that part in the movie, the animated version and the live action version. It is one of the grandest performances in that movie is that song. And when I tell you, I was so nervous and excited for that part because I wanted to love it so much, because I just wanted it to do well, because that original classic lives in my heart, you know, from when I was a little girl watching it. And I don't know, I just was really excited to see this movie and to want it to do well. Anyway, as I'm sitting there at the beginning of the movie, you see the ocean, you see the waves. I just automatically started getting a little bit emotional because it's bringing back The Little Mermaid to life, to live action. I must say that Halle Bailey was spectacular. She was so phenomenal in this movie. When she sang Part of Your World, I got chills. I got goosebumps. I loved it. She totally captured the essence of who Ariel is, the innocence, the ethereal voice. When she started singing, I was like, wow, what a perfect person to have been cast for this role. Her voice is utter magic. Her voice is so magical, so similar almost to Jodie Benson, the original Ariel. Her voice is just absolutely stunning. When I heard this song and saw her performance, I was like, wow. She killed it, and she represented all of what I was hoping for Ariel to be. She embodied it. She was such a great actress. She is such a great actress. Even the parts where she loses her voice, it's like the acting, the emotion, she just embodied it. I loved her look. I loved her locks. I loved her hair, her long, beautiful hair, her real long, beautiful hair. She says she's been growing her hair out in locks since she was, I think, 5 years old or something like that. They just had to dye it red, and I just felt like she was amazing. She like shined a light to this song with her voice in this beautiful way and rhythm that she gave it. It was just so lovely. And the other characters, oh my gosh. So the other characters, Ursula is played by Melissa McCarthy, and she, as soon as I heard her raspy voice, I was like, is that really Melissa McCarthy? She like totally got her voice down pat. Ursula's voice, that raspy, that like almost smoker-esque type of voice, she embodied that as well. Her performances were so good, and she even dropped a little bit of her comedic flair into it, so I was laughing too at certain points. She was absolutely great in this. Jonah Hauer King plays Prince Eric, and he did an amazing job as well. Him and Haley did such a great job. Their chemistry, it just pops on screen, and I love the fact that in this live action film they really gave him a much broader background. You get to know him better, you get to know about his life. That was really, really good, because in the original classic you don't get to really know the background of how his family life is, him as a person. You don't really get to know much about him, and this really brings it all together in a nice bow tie, getting to know him and Ariel and their likes and their passions, and you see that they have a lot of similarities, and you see why they go so well together and were drawn to each other so quickly. They just have this great chemistry between them. So it was really nice seeing them together. They just did stellar together. And also another thing, I'm gonna get to the rest of the cast, but another thing that I loved was the on land, the setting was Caribbean. So I just love the different cultures. I love the music. There's a scene where they just get together and they're dancing, and the people of the land, they're like all dancing, and you see the different cultures, you see the diversity. I loved it. I loved the rhythm of the music. It was so nice. It was so good. And in that scene, you just see them get closer, and you can really feel the attraction and the love and attention that they have to one another, and it really brings the story together so nicely. Just seeing them dancing together. If you can have rhythm together on the dance floor and dance and have fun together, that's so awesome. You can see like two people who really like each other just have fun and be themselves and enjoy themselves with the music. And a cool fact is that Jodi Benson makes an appearance here, and I thought that was so nice. She totally gave her sign of approval and support, and she's a part of this movie. She makes a brief cameo here, and I absolutely love that. It's like tossing the baton to Halle, like, here, go ahead, you know, knock him dead. So I thought that was really cool. Well, Prince Eric's mom, I just loved her. Her accent, she was so royal and she played it so well. I loved that you got to see his parent life, his life, you know, behind the scenes of him being a sailor and stuff. Like, what is his home life or castle life like? And you got to see him interact with his mom. You got to see how much she loves him. You got to see how beautiful their, you know, relationship is, and her wanting the best for her son. You got to actually get a deeper view of how he was raised, you know. And I thought she was stunning, and her accent was, I loved it. I loved it. I could listen to her all day. Javier Bardem, he played King Triton, and I must say he did a great job too. I mean, there's so many positives. I really don't want to nitpick on little things that I didn't that I saw or had a little bit of attention on. The positives outweigh any little nitpicks that I have about the film. I will tell you certain things that, you know, had my attention that I was like, I could have done without that. But well, for instance, Javier played King Triton really well. I loved him. Little nitpick of mine, one of the scenes where he goes, this is a little spoiler alert if you have not seen the original or the new one, but where Ariel keeps her treasures, he finds out, and he does not want her to be anywhere near the human world, the land. He cannot stand them because his wife was killed by a human, and since then he feels like they're evil, and he really hates the humans. So he's always telling Ariel, you know, get her head out of the clouds. You know, they're horrible. I don't want you anywhere near the above water. I don't want you anywhere near there with these evil humans. But in any case, he finds her treasure, her little cave of treasures, and she's in there and she's admiring all her things that she has, as she always does, and all the things she's collected, which is a lot. And he goes in there, he goes, "That's enough." And as you know, in the original, he just blasts the place with his trident, starts just destroying all her treasures that she's kept, and she's just heartbroken. I felt that the scene needed more anger from him, but as the movie kept on going, I felt like he played King Triton a little bit more subdued. You knew he was powerful, and he didn't need to have that force behind his voice by screaming and, you know, yelling. But I would have liked in that scene for him to be more like the original, where he was a little bit more angry when he was doing it. Another thing that had my attention was Sebastian. At first I had to get used to how he looked, because obviously it's a live action, so he looks like a real lobster. And secondly, I was hearing like a little bit drop in his accent, because the actor Daveed Diggs, who played him, he doesn't have an accent, that Caribbean accent. So I didn't know this, but I knew that I was hearing like a little bit, sometimes the accent was heavier, and other times like I was like, it needs to be a little bit more stronger, the accent, and it kind of got my attention on that. As the movie went along, he was funny. The accent did thicken. I didn't have much attention on it, and he brought the humor in. I really liked the job that he did playing him, and he really did him well. And then Flounder was played by Jacob Tremblay, and he did a cute, you know, he was cute as always. Flounder was super cute. So in all, I thought the casting was on spot on. The casting was spot on. I thought all of them did such a great job. And just to let you know, a little behind the scenes is that this movie was like 5 years. It took like 5 years to finally get into the theaters. Halle Berry, not Halle Berry. It's her name is so similar to Halle Berry that sometimes it's easy to get them mixed up. In an interview, Halle Bailey actually says that she was 18 at the start of filming this movie, and now once it got into theaters, she is now 23 years old. So you can imagine the excitement on, you know, the wait was long, and also the amount of time and effort it took to make this film. And I felt like they did such a great job. It was just so enjoyable. The movie from beginning to end was really enjoyable. One thing I must say, me personally, whoever's capturing the scenes with their equipment, when they go and zoom really fast over the water and they're making like circular motions, I can't stand that. And they did this a couple times, and I was like, oh, because it makes me feel dizzy. It might be uncommon. I don't know if you feel that way too, but I hate that. I hate when they zoom in really fast, like especially above water, when they're doing it above water, and then they do like a circular thing. I'm like, nobody wants to see that because I'm, you know, getting dizzy here. But maybe it's just me. It's an uncommon thing. Not everybody has that experience. But all in all, this movie was fantastic. I would say another thing, this is a nitpick, another thing that had my attention on the fact that I could have done without it was Prince Eric's performance of this new song. It's a new piece that they put into the movie of him singing. It's his solo, and I felt like I wasn't really feeling it. I just didn't feel it, like the emotion. I wasn't there with him. I felt like, you know, that could have been scrapped out. I didn't need a solo from him, sorry. But I think he's great when he was with Hailey acting and everything. All his scenes were wonderful with her, and outside of being with her with the other characters and stuff. But that solo performance, I thought, I could have done without it. Again, it was a new piece that they put into the movie. Maybe if I watch it again, which I know that I will, I'll see it with a new set of eyes or a new viewpoint, and I might like it the second time around. But my initial take on it was that, you know, I thought it didn't really, I didn't really need to have him have a solo performance with that new song. They did revise certain things, and this is Ariel re-envisioned, and I just love that. I love the diversity. I love that it was set in the Caribbean. I love seeing everybody together, enjoying, laughing, and it was just so good. It made me feel so good. Oh, and the seven sisters, you get to see them. They each symbolize these seven oceans of the sea, and I absolutely enjoyed the fact that they each had different names, and I love that addition as well. They each had different names, unique names other than the original animated movie, so that was new. Oh, one thing that well, two things. One, they left out the part where Sebastian and the cook are like battling. The cook wants to cook him and Sebastian is running away, and that whole scene, that's like so iconic. Such a great scene, and they left that out, and I was like, whoa. You know something, I didn't even realize they left it out until after the movie when my son brought it up, and I was like, oh my god, I loved it so much that I didn't even notice that it wasn't there until he mentioned it. I was like, oh my god, you're right. You know, I loved so many parts that it didn't matter that it was left out, and I'm a part of me is like, oh wow, yeah, I do like the fact that they left it out, because that's such an iconic scene, and I think it's really special to leave that for the original. It has that special piece still left as part of that movie, and I think it makes it even more special that they left it out. So in the original, you'll only be able to have that in that original movie, and I think that was nice. I don't know what their intention was, why they left it out. Maybe the movie was already long enough and they couldn't fit it in, or you know, who knows. But I was surprised that they did leave it out because it's such an iconic scene. But again, it was not missed. Imagine, it was not missed. Kiss the Girl was beautiful. One of my favorite scenes when they sing Kiss the Girl. I loved it. I laughed. It was so nice, so heartwarming. What more can I say? It was super enjoyable. At the end of this movie, guys, I wanted to see it again. That's how much I liked it. That's how much great feeling I got from watching this movie. I loved it that much that after I got, and that's unlike me, that after I left the movie, I swear to you, I could have sat again and watched it. That's how much I felt like I enjoyed it. I would have sat and watched it again, and that is not like me. I do not like sitting for hours and not doing anything else. I'm a very active person. I like to keep it moving, and it has to be a really good movie that I really want to see for me to actually sit in a theater and sit for 2 hours and be there and not have you know, my eye on the clock at any moment. But I really loved it that much that I would have sat and watched it again. So I can't wait for the movie to come out on Blu-ray. I can't wait. I was so happy. I was so happy. I mean, they killed it. They really did. This was beautiful. It made me feel so good towards the end, because the fact that it was set in the Caribbean made it so that the cast was so lovely, with all the colors of us, you know, white, black, tan, whatever. Everybody's together dancing and singing, and I'm getting emotional now. That's what the goal is, right? For all of us to get together, so all of us can be get along. For all of, I don't know why, it really made me emotional seeing that, because you put the news on and it's a lot of hate, and the reports and everything are very hateful, and you have, you know, this movie coming out, people, you know, saying different things about race and making that the bigger picture, and that's not the bigger picture. The bigger picture is for us to get along, a peaceful world. What does that look like? What does that world look like? For me, it looks like we all get along. It doesn't matter, you know, what color we are. Unfortunately, the world we live in is not like that and doesn't see it that way. The bigger picture here was that in the end, we all can accept each other and be one and have acceptance and get along. And I thought that was awesome. And the end, that's what you get from this movie. You get the fact that they're wanting you to see that this is what we should be aiming for, to love, not to hate, you know, not to seem all cliche or anything, but I mean, I would love that, wouldn't you? More love and less hate in the world. I mean, I envision that. I would love that to happen. A lot has to change, but in any case, I don't want to get political. I just think that it really warmed my heart to see that, especially with Disney and such a classic animated film. To have that in this 2023 version was beautiful, and they casted it perfectly. And I'm gonna leave it at that. If you have not seen this movie, go out, watch it. Let me know what you thought of it. Leave comments. I would love to hear from you. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this episode. I would absolutely appreciate that. It helps me make more videos. Subscribe. It is free. It is absolutely free to subscribe and support my channel. So guys, on that note, I'll see you on the next one.